Thank you for checking out our Nerdy Bits. This is Tim the Nerd, and I am joined by Professor Aubrey. We here, your friends at Friends Talking Nerdy, welcome you to Songs of the Week.
That's right.
Yes. Now, before we begin our selections here, we have a little daredevil in the house that made a little bit of an escape.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have a screen door on our deck, and we keep it open. Like most people, it's like in Portland, it gets hot, but most of the time, keywords most of the time, it doesn't get so hot that you always have to have an air conditioner on. So we like to have like windows open, and with the deck door open, with a screen door and everything. It has a nice breeze that comes in that makes it relatively comfortable. And I know you and I both have different levels of comfort.
But like right now, it's perfect. And it's so nice to have the door open. It's 75 degrees outside,
Y-
70 maybe even.
Yeah, well, today we discovered our little one, show mascot Annie, figured out that at the bottom of the screen door, the screen itself was coming out from the door itself. So was sneaking out.
See, she caused that to happen. It didn't just come out.
Yeah.
She burrowed a little hole through the screen by picking it up with her claws. And then she stuck her little head through the hole, and then she pulled her little body, and I saw her, and she had stuck her head through, and I watched her pull her little body underneath it, and it was so funny. She got so flat.
Yeah, yeah, and being that we're on the second story here, I mean, it's like we shouldn't think that cats are so stupid that they would intentionally like walk off a roof or something like that. But that's my fear. They'd walk off and fall down or something like that. I know the other day you had actually closed the deck door, and you did not see her, but then you started hearing a noise. And apparently she had crawled, she was on the deck without us realizing it. And she crawled back in between the screen door and the door, crawled up the door and was looking out the window, and you caught it.
Yeah, she was looking right at me.
Yeah, like, come on, lady, open the door.
And so I was like, I can't believe I didn't see her, and closed her up between the screen and the door, and she'd been stuck there. Well, no, she'd been out partying.
Yeah, yeah, our little girl's a demon now. But we do have a solution that should hopefully allow the cool breeze to still come in while keeping her out. When we put that solution up, she definitely spent a good 10 minutes looking for a way to get past it. But so far so good.
Yeah, because I hate it for them too to have to close the door, and it's just lovely. It's like a floor to ceiling window, basically. It's nice. So that is what's up with Annie.
Yes, and Mimsy just loves a short belly these days, so she's in a good mood.
She was not able to get through the small hole in the screen.
It's funny, those two. Like, Annie will do the wild stuff, and then Mimsy will be looking at her like, whoa, you're probably going to die, but whoa. Because it seems like at times, too, like Mimsy will kind of look at her and enjoy looking at Annie doing whatever she's doing.
Oh, uh-huh.
It's interesting how much personality these animals have. People want to easily dismiss that. And obviously, yeah, I'm not trying to say cats are humans or anything like that. They are cats, and we need to treat them accordingly. But they do have their own personalities. They have their own thoughts. They have their own emotions. They have their own memories, and all that stuff. And it's always interesting to see that come out now.
Absolutely. And it's wonderful to think that because she's her mother, that she enjoys seeing her enjoying life or whatever. But, it's so easy to anthropomorphize animals, particularly those that we live with. I don't know whether that's true or you're just projecting that onto her, it's hard to say really.
Yeah, I mean, obviously they can't tell you, but I think there is enough scientific evidence out there to, back up what I said in terms of the fact that, animals do have emotions. They do have long-term memories. I believe with a cat, their memories, they can go back 3 years in terms of long-term memories.
Mm-hmm.
So like at this point, like their lives with my son, they both forgot. At this point, if my oldest came in and tried to see them, I mean, I'm sure they'd be nice eventually if they came out of hiding, but he would just be a guy at this point.
Yeah. Yeah, really, in terms of their lives too, like they've been with us longer than they were with him.
Yeah, and they are definitely happy, even though one wants to escape.
She doesn't want to escape. She wanted to escape back in as soon as she got out.
Yeah, she wanted to go out
She
party.
wants to be a cat that goes in and comes out and goes in and goes out.
Yeah, and this is not the neighborhood for an outside cat. I mean, if we lived on a farm, different story altogether. But in the city with as many cars and trucks and buses and all that stuff that go in this neighborhood, the last thing I want to do is let them out. And that's not even taking into account the amount of diseases they could get.
Or I think humans are the biggest threat. Not even cars, just like human beings being
Awful.
disgusting pieces of the actual shit.
Well, on that note, how about you tell us your song of the week?
Well, so, maybe my song of the week is a little related. It is a song called Wildfires and is by the British anonymous music collective called Sault. Sault.
Never heard of him.
There are only two people that people know who they are. The rest of the band is anonymous. And it's a sort of R&B, jazzy, just cool. It's just really cool. And the singer has an amazing voice, it's very ethereal. And the song is about, 2020 and race. So it was very salient at the time and basically says that, screw you, white people, we are going to survive and thrive in the future.
Well, how did you come across this song?
I heard it on a mix. I believe it was a mashup of some sort or a DJ mix that I didn't know. Like it wasn't like a track, it was being played as part of something else, as a sample. And so then I liked the sample so much, I tried to figure out what song it was. And it turned out it was this song. And the whole song itself is even better than what I had originally heard of it.
Well, there you go.
It's so good. So I hope everyone will take a listen. Um, it's really groovy and also has a good message.
Well, there you go. It will be on our playlist, both on the YouTube music playlist as well as Spotify. The reason we're reigniting the Spotify playlist is that you don't have to have a paid account to continue adding songs to playlists that you create. So we thought we'd want to put out playlists in areas to where people will actually listen and all that stuff. But how about I dive into my choice?
I would love to hear about your choice, Tim.
All right. I think you've heard of this song before.
Okay.
Maybe.
Okay.
Just maybe. It's from this little band you may have heard of called Queen, and it's a duet they did with this gentleman you may have heard of.
Named David Bowie?
Yes, David Bowie. Under Pressure. But there's going to be an interesting thing here, folks. On the YouTube music playlist, I'm actually also going to include not only the original song in question, but something that had the 34th anniversary just this past April 20th. And that is the duet between David Bowie and Annie Lennox at the Freddie Mercury tribute concert, singing Under Pressure. And for my money, in some ways, that is kind of like the superior version of the song.
In some ways.
In some ways, not always, but I think it was the passion of that night. Now, obviously, yes, Freddie Mercury, lead singer of Queen, discovered that he ended up with AIDS, and by the time he alerted the public that yes, that was a disease that he had, he passed away relatively quickly because at that particular time it was no joke. If you got AIDS, it was 90% or higher that you were going to die relatively quickly.
Yeah, it was terrifying.
Yeah. And, thankfully, in terms of the timing, now apparently Freddie Mercury did get to see the opening scene of Wayne's World,
Oh.
where Wayne and Garth and the other people were headbanging to Bohemian Rhapsody in the car. And apparently he loved that.
Oh.
So there is that positive note, but the surviving members of Queen wanted to put together this tribute concert, not only to have a tribute concert at Wembley Stadium, where Queen had one of their biggest successes in terms of Live Aid 85,
Mhm.
but they also used that as an opportunity to create a charity organization that is still around, that continues to help against the fight against AIDS and all that. But two of the performers that came along and sang were Annie Lennox and David Bowie, and like Annie Lennox just knocked it out of the damn park.
She kills it. She kills it. She has got a voice and a range that is dramatic.
And it's funny too, if you look at the video, it almost seems to me like David Bowie was just showing up initially just to like, oh, I'll sing my songs, la la la, and not really taking it seriously. But with the intensity of Annie Lennox's performance, by the end of that song, it kind of swept him up too.
Yeah, and he was like grooving,
Yeah, yeah.
wanting to perform because the performance was so good.
Yeah, like this was, I believe, shortly after he disbanded the band that he had in the 80s, Tin Machine. Because when he started the band Tin Machine, he intentionally made it to where, he told the general public he was not going to play his old classic hits anymore, which artistically I get why he did that, and I applaud him for doing that. There are too many bands out there, Beach Boys, that that just have rested on their laurels a long time ago, and like yeah, I'm sure the Beach Boys don't care the amount of money that they get. It is a choice, but he wanted to shake things up artistically, so I think that might have been part of it too, in terms of what I'm interpreting. And I could be hilariously wrong, of course,
Mhm.
but it could have been a situation where Bowie wasn't exactly excited to sing a song from his past, but just swept up with the energy of the crowd and the performance of Annie Lennox. By the end of it, it kicked ass. But that concert was shown on MTV
Mhm.
in its entirety. It was like over 4 hours and everything like that. That was, for me at least, one of the first big, super concerts that I remember. Obviously, I was alive during Live Aid 85, but I was 9 years old at that point, so I wasn't going to sit and watch Live Aid, at that particular
I
point.
in '85 I was 11, and we had cable when we lived on an Air Force base from the time I was about 4 till I was 8, and then we moved back to Tennessee and did not have cable for many years. And so we didn't have MTV when it first came out, and we had to satisfy ourselves with Friday night videos
Mm.
on the on the TV, and then, stay up until they played the song, which they don't do anymore. There's no end. There's no end to the day of broadcasting.
Yes, I do remember the days to where they would end with the Star Spangled Banner and then just go to snow.
Mhm. Go gray.
Yeah, but now we get infomercials or Comics Unleashed, which is doing so well on CBS now. I love the fact that I read this article that apparently Comics Unleashed is doing so badly, it's hurting the rest of CBS's numbers.
Good.
So and
CBS is, off my list.
uh, well, you know. To be clear, though, I mean, we still obviously have Paramount Plus, and there are other things on Paramount Plus that we do enjoy from creators like Trey Parker and Matt Stone, who are sticking it to the man and
That's
making
right.
a lot of money doing so. But yeah,
Everybody's making more money than us.
Pretty much. Yeah.
Out of their entertainment
Yeah.
offerings.
Well, on that happy note, we hope you enjoy the songs of the week that we recommended this week. And like I said, in the YouTube music playlist, I will also include the video from the Freddie Mercury tribute concert with Annie Lennox and David Bowie as a bonus for you all to enjoy. And I hope you all do take time out of your day to do that, because I remember watching that concert that day, and it was just great artists after great artists after great artists. And then it ended with Liza Minnelli doing a duet with only artists at the end, because apparently Liza Minnelli was one of Freddie Mercury's favorite singers.
Ah.
Yeah, so Liza Minnelli doing a duet with Axl Rose and James Hetfield of Metallica.
Oh my god. That's awesome.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if there's anybody that's rock and roll, it's Liza Minnelli.
Yep.
Yeah. Any other thoughts for our friends at home?
No, just enjoy it. Whatever it is.
That's right. Keep on rocking. Keep on rocking. Well, thank you for checking out our Nerdy Bitz each week. We have something in this podcast space to entertain your ear holes. Until we meet again, we bid you adieu.
So,
subscribe to Friends Talking Nerdy
on YouTube Music, Apple Podcasts, Spotify,
or wherever you listen to podcasts.
Bye, friends.